Right, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction. Today we got what happened to the last emperor of China. I've been watching quite a few emperor videos recently, I'm not gonna lie. Really interested in seeing how this went down. Who was China's last ever emperor?
China's history is one of emperors and dynasties. Until it wasn't, that is, when in 1911 the Chinese Revolution saw the millennia-old imperial way of government completely upended and replaced with a republic. But what happened to the man at the top? What happened to the last emperor of China? Well, to start with, the man was a boy. When Sun Yat-sen, the leader of the Chinese Revolution, put a permanent end to the Qing dynasty, the Xuanzong emperor was 6 years old.
Yeah, now, boy, that's mad. 6 years old. That's true though. Like, kids can be emperors. That's absolutely
the establishment of a republic didn't see him dragged outside and killed like many emperors and kings had been before him. Instead, the Xuanzong emperor, proper name Eizingyoro Puyi, was allowed to remain inside the Forbidden Palace, was given a massive yearly stipend, and would retain his titles. Puyi would stay in the Forbidden City for 12 years, during which he was briefly restored as emperor in 1917 during a rebellion against the central government. His second reign lasted for just shy of 2 weeks, and the rebellion was defeated and he was again removed from power. In 1924, the Republican government decided that Puyi should go, and so evicted him from his palace, and he subsequently moved to the city of Tianjin. In the following decade, Puyi attempted to bargain with the numerous warlords throughout China, which was in a near-permanent state of civil war, to support his restoration. They all said no. In 1931, Japan occupied Manchuria and set up the puppet state of Manchukuo, which had near-zero international recognition and thus needed some legitimacy. Fortunately for Japan, there was a former Chinese emperor able to take the helm, and he was happy to do so, and so took up the position of chief executive of Manchukuo in 1932.
Oh my god, that seems like, bro, imagine saying this every day.
Took up the position of chief executive of Manchukuo in
1932.
He was appointed as the emperor of Manchukuo in 1934, but he was simply a figurehead of the government there, and most of the governing was done by the Japanese military. So in 1937, a small regional conflict broke out between the Empire of Japan and the Republic of China, and Puyi saw an opportunity here to be restored as the emperor of all China, although he'd have to do without Mongolia this time because, you know, communist revolution. And to keep him in line, the Japanese consistently reminded him of his pending restoration. There was one interesting thing about this Japanese promise. It was a lie. The Japanese were working with a collaborationist government in China to establish a republican puppet state, and they had determined that Puyi was going to remain in Manchuria. All of this discussion was meaningless though, because Japan lost the war, and during the closing months, the Soviet Union conquered Manchuria and captured Puyi. Now, he was quite worried at this point because Axis leaders had a tendency of getting Nuremberged. He wasn't, and instead he was held in Siberia and pled to the Allies to spare him since the Republican government in China wanted to shoot him as a collaborator. In 1949, the Chinese communists won the civil war, and as an act of good faith, he was extradited there the next year.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, this emperor sounds like a lucky fucking emperor, I'm not gonna lie.
That this was only going to end one way for Puyi, but in fact Mao wanted him extradited specifically so that he could spare him. Puyi spent 10 years in prison and was subsequently released as not only a regular private citizen, but also as a fully fledged communist, which for Mao was exactly what he'd wanted.
Bro, imagine your life, right? You was the emperor, right? And then imagine just being a normal citizen after, like, bro, you go to prison, 10 years after, you're just a normal citizen, when you was the fucking emperor.
You see, the Russians had shot their former emperor, an act which had become a black mark on its regime, whereas Mao had spared the former Chinese emperor, which certainly made Chinese communism look a lot better in comparison. The last Chinese emperor had, after his removal from power, been a puppet emperor, a prisoner, a street cleaner, and an editor before he died in 1967.
What the fuck?
And with him died the last of a 2,000-year-old system of government.
That was actually really cool, really good video. I hope that you guys did enjoy that. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up, make sure you guys subscribe for more content. If you got any videos you want me to watch, link them down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.